Like I say, the Romanov family back then, there was school 4 hours a day and then work for like 3 hours or something like that. They were doing like this system where you go to school for if you're young or underage, you go to school for 4 hours a day and then you have work for about 3 hours and you get paid a full day's wage. And there was also like a 2 penny or 2 bit welfare money, which is basically will cover up. I think a bit would cover for breakfast and then dinner, basically. And so you get 2 hot meals a day for and that's basically your money. And that was welfare in Russia. I controlled the money. The problem is there was a little bit. I had to raise the price of the food a little bit, and we had to do something else. And there was a discounted, slightly old food. Like I wasn't quite done with the whole food and going bad and spoiling thing. So there was a little bit of an issue there. But basically, if you're in Russia back then during the Romanovs, like it's a pretty good place actually. A lot of people wanted to be there. Like I say, Rasputin had been a part of he had his own little Amish clique. I think it was basically the Amish really actually, but it was pretty much probably the Rasputin club basically. They were vile, disgusting. I mean, it wasn't the opium. They were just disgusting. And Rasputin was wanted to moon high society by having all nasty disgustingness. I mean, he was he never took a shower. He would go. He purposely went 5 or 6 months without taking a shower. And he would literally go poo in his pants. And then he would walk around like that, and then he would make fun of people or be like, "What's wrong with you, man?" Blah blah blah. He said he was doing an art piece on something. He was an artist. Anyway, yeah, that was Rasputin, and I didn't know about that until later, and when I found out what kind of person he and he liked to think of himself as the wife was attracted to him and the daughter was attracted to him, and he wanted to go tutor and be with the daughter, and the daughter had a tutor already, and he was insisting that he had to tutor. I forget exactly what it was, but basically I was like, no, you don't have to see him, you don't ever have to talk to him again, you don't have to worry about that. In fact, put him in jail. And don't ever let him out, basically, almost. I was like, if you think it's safe for him to be out in the world, then that's okay. But if you feel endangered, you put him in jail. And so, and then later on, when he had 500 or 1,000 people, and then they are 300 other Rasputin lookalikes were basically running around. Like I said, after the attack on the father that basically critically injured him, and of course Rasputin blamed the mother or the wife for something of witchcraft, and it was on purpose, or that anyway. I was just like, you need to get out of that city, and I told them to get in the carriage and take off, and don't stop until they reached. I was like, there should be a ship in the harbor. And it'll take you to China. And if you go up into the mountains, just ask. And I forget. I used to know all the names for the mines, and so I told them exactly where to go, exactly what to do. And I said, take a carriage up there and get up there and stay there, and talk to the town, tell them about what's going on, and they should protect you. And sure enough, Rasputin attacked. It was about 6 months for him before he tracked them down, but he eventually did. And there was this massive shootout between them and him, and I think he attacked with 500 people or 1,000 people or something. I'm not exactly sure how he did it, but pretty much the Chinese, I'm the side of good. I was always the coolest guy. I'm paying money, I'm feeding people. I just have my people, and my people are encountering these problems just like anybody else. And only Rasputin's like this, apparently opium drug addict, whatever. I don't really know. Anyway, he was a psychopath, and he just wanted to rape the Romanov girls. He had made it his mission to basically defile them, And eventually he did defile one of the maids. There's this maid or whatever, and he was like, anyway, it was disgusting. I ordered his head to be cut off. Anyway, they found one of him, or one of his people. I'm not exactly sure, because he trained all the people to act just like him. So I don't know. We rounded up. I think we killed about 120 of them. You know, he was like, beards are, you know, they're just against beards, and he was just like, he was going like I mean, I heard some of the stuff. I was there. I witnessed it. You know, and I knew what was going on at the time, and I was like, whoa. He's a psychopath. I was like, you know, and the different events, and I saw all the videos and everything else. It's all on video too, by the way. You know, and he burned all the video, all the films or whatever, and he used to like jack off to the films of the girls. They said, and I found out about everything. I was like, whoa, no, 50 gold on this guy's head. Cut it off. Put it in a jar. Save it for me. So, yeah. I mean, they told me what was going on with him and everything else like that. I was advised, and I was like, yeah, just take it from the treasury. And, you know, I mean, he's a psychopath. You know, just like Jimmy Carter is a psychopath. You know, like to put a gun to girls' heads and blow their brains out, and they'd like tense up. And that would get them off. He's a psychopath. You know, and and Nixon, you know, crazy ass psychopaths. I mean, what can I say? You know, I mean, these people were psychotic. And John McCain, he'd shoot people in the back. He shot like 30 delegates, 30 Chinese delegates in the White House, in the back, after they signed stuff, and they were walking away, and then they took the Tommy guns and turned them on them and shot like 25 Chinese delegates right in the back. Then said the Chinese delegates didn't come, but then went to China and were like, we own your property, to the Chinese people, with a signed signature saying, and trying to say that it was legal, that they own their property. It's like psychopaths. I knew about it. These people are the worst people on earth. I knew about it, so, you know. Only difference is, from where I used to be. Anyway, and yeah, so they became one of those big problems. And, you know, the world just didn't know it. So, but, you know, I found out about it, knew about it, and dealt with it. Anyway, and that's why we have all these laws and rules.